gonna try to finish out this fit out as if we are working on level 2. We're running out of time now, so um, let's do some things we already know how to do. For example, the AutoCAD underlay. If I wanted for it, oops, if I wanted to change visibility, the graphics settings of that file, I would expand the categories. Right, reveal the AutoCAD, change the color, for example, of the lines in the CAD drawing. Right, so now we can see what we're drawing on. It's changed to wireframe so that we can draw in these windows. I'm going to move very quickly through this because this is stuff that we already know how to do. The windows are 4 feet wide by 6 feet high. If we don't have such a window, we have to create one. So I'm going into the type editor, duplicating 48 by 72. Let's set the sill. I think we said the sills were going to be at 2 feet. The height of the window is 6 feet, and the width of the window is 4. Okay. And we're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Even though we're not going to experience it, we'll put a 9th one over there. These windows are at 10-foot centers, so in order to space them, I'm going to dimension to their centers. Assuming that one of them is placed correctly, which we can't assume yet, but these are pretty close to 10-foot centers. All right. Thin line mode, align this window. Destination, element that you want to align. Now that window's in the right place. That's a good starting point. All right. So the next one needs to be exactly 10 feet from it. Subsequently, each remaining window is 10 feet apart. It is post-Thanksgiving, so we're moving quickly through stuff you've already done so that we can see what there is left to do for folks to finish these drawings. So there's all my windows. We used an 8-inch wall to represent the exterior wall. Let's just drag the end of it to, right? Not concerned about that because we're not concerned with the model right now. That's an interior wall that we represented as a generic wall type. That's an by the way, all of this is existing. Let's select all the windows and make those existing. So there's my only new construction, is that wall. As an interior wall. Let's go ahead and draw the rest of that. I'm going to align face of wall, one or the other. Now let's go ahead and align this. Let's select the interior face. Okay. Wall, architecture wall. Finish face interior, and I'm just going to draw it in this direction. Well, sorry, wrong way. Let's start at this end and go in this direction. Finish face exterior clockwise. Start here. All right. We need that wall the elevator walls we've already drawn. So I'm just drawing anything that faces toward the space that we're outfitting. And then finally, there's a wall that separates this suite from the other. Let's start drawing here. Draw past it. Take off wire frame, change it back to hidden line, change thin line, scroll in, modify, use the trim tool to meet some of these walls. This all wants to be existing, so select all those walls. Make sure that phase created is set to existing. All right. We need to introduce split here because we just sort of went past this door recess. And then all those walls and oops. Existing and that little bit of wall there also needs to be existing. Let's bring in a couple of doors. 36 by 84 will do. 1, 2, and those need to be changed to existing as well. Let's fix the swing on this. Change that to existing. 10 minutes, 11 minutes into this. All right. So we need, that's a plumbing wall. We can go back and figure those in afterwards. So I'm going to select a generic 6-inch wall, the wall that separates the conference room, make it approximately this wide, a wall that begins, and then we have a curved wall over there. Then we have a bunch of offices along here up to the CEO office. So I'm just basically mapping out the space. We have to enclose those columns, those pipes. Let's just move past that. And we do have some dimensions. I believe 13.6 for that. And we need a curtain wall in here, so we have to learn how to draw that. We have simple partitions that separate these offices. I'm going to ignore all that right now. So I want to continue developing the area. This is conference room B, in which we're going to finish that with a curtain wall. So I'm going to draw a wall and select curtain wall 1 and draw one from here to there. Okay, we haven't finished it out. We just did the default, and I'm going to place rooms. Architecture room. And I need a room boundary for the kitchen, because the kitchen's part of a big open area. So architecture room separator. I'm going to draw a line here to there to there. And that's going to allow me to create a room for the kitchen. And that one's going to be kitchen. This is conference room B. Let's move these labels slightly out of the way. Align them. And if we go to our 3D view, not of that, close that. If we go to a 3D view, right, can see what we've done so far. We don't have ceilings in this space because we're going after a different list. So I'm drawing the kitchen area and I'm drawing conference room A. And we do have a floor, all right, which is grossly oversized, but it'll do for what we're doing here. Revit allows you to split faces of surfaces whose faces that you can let's say that we wanted on this floor area to paint the floor to indicate that it's going to be tile in the kitchen and maybe strip flooring in conference room A. I can use the split face tool from the modify menu, select split face. If I click on select elements by face, it'll allow me to select the floor. So basically it allows me to draw an area into which I can paint material. Right? Same for the conference room. Split face. Here I'm going to be a little more careful. I'm going to draw a line from corner to corner. You can do this in plan, you can do it in 3D. Right? So now if I want, let's go to the floor plan and refine the shape of the kitchen floor split face area. So select that and edit boundary, and basically going to move these lines. And all that I'm going to draw tile into. We don't need to see the reference plane, so let's hide that. Finish. Finish edit. Okay, let's use material to paint. Paint tool, PT. I don't use Revit abbreviations. Scroll down to tile. I want to find the tile with a 3D model surface pattern. So we have porcelain tile. Can I duplicate and modify things here? I don't know that I can. Let's select the porcelain tile and use it. Okay. Let's select vinyl composition tile and use it to paint here. So both those materials had patterns associated with it. It's not what I wanted for the conference room. Let's go to oak flooring. Maybe this. That's better. Right? And we're done painting. So if we go to a 3D view, you can see the results of that. So that's a split face. That can be applied to walls as well. If I wanted wainscoting on the walls in the conference room, I can choose the split face tool again, select the wall, and basically draw a boundary line from end to end. Okay, that line is, see how far it is from the floor. I want it 3 feet from the floor, not 5. Select that line, change that value to 3, finish edit, and let's paint into that. Okay, that's a 3D pattern, so I can actually align to something vertical. Whoops. Select the Align tool. That's not going to let me do that here. So we'll have to put in an elevation. Go back to Plan. View, Elevation, Interior Elevation. Let's put one in the conference room. Let's select all 4 compass marks. Remember, when you're done using select elements by face, turn it off. Let's go to this elevation, go to view, go to elevation view. So that pattern now is horizontal. We want it to be vertical. Modify Align, select something vertical. That's not going to let me do that. Let's try again. Okay, for purposes of this, we'll have to live with it. Imagine you had horizontal wainscoting, which is unlikely, but that's what we got now. Let me save this file. So this is something of a Revit fast track triage model for stuff we haven't done with a larger. Let's save this as project. This is going to be fast track lesson in Revit 2020. We need a wall and a door. Separates that area. So, okay, we need to finish out this curtain wall. That elevation view is way out there because we're going to use that to sort of work with the kitchen. Right, so let's create another interior elevation in the hallway. Go to the view. Okay, well, it occurs to me that we're going to need to put in some ceilings here, so we might as well finish out a couple of the other elements. If in fact you have no work so far, this might be a good set of videos to be looking through. Let's look at this layout. View, zoom, dynamic zoom. So we got 12.6 and then 5.3. Go back to Revit. Now it wants to be 12.6. It collides with that door, but that's okay. We'll fix it. 12.6. Let's see what we got in the corridor. As long as we have at least 5 feet, we're in good shape. Can bring in wall types from a different Revit model. So if I wanted to clean this up or synchronize with some of the wall types I've already established, I can open an existing Revit model. So let me scroll over to my handouts for, let's say where we left off, right? One of these files, interior elevations. So this is classroom work. I'm going to ignore that, in which we have the wall types that we need, right? So what I can do, knowing that, is go to the drawing I'm working with and transfer project standards. So this is something you'll need to know. Manage, transfer project standards. I'm going to check none here. So there's a file from which I want to transfer stuff. I want all the wall types. Maybe view templates as well, but I'm going to ignore that for now. I'm just going to focus on one thing and say, bring in all the wall types that I already did. Now, when I go to my families and scroll down to walls, you will see that under basic walls, I have my plumbing partition, my simple partition, all the stuff that we did before, right? So if you remember, now I can take that wall, that wall, that wall, okay, that wall, and that wall, and that wall. That's going to be a demising wall type, which we have somewhere. 1 hour demising goes to the other side of the floor above. That's a simple partition. I think we have a wall type 1. Yep. Okay. This 2, well, that border is on a different wall, but let's go ahead and make that a simple partition as well. This is a plumbing wall. Let's change that wall type. And let's go ahead and tag these walls. So annotate, tag by category. I'm going to attach the tags to the wall types I created. This one doesn't have anything assigned to it. This one should be a demising wall, so let's go ahead and change that. 1 hour demising. So that's wall type 2. Don't want this to be more than half hour at a time. So we're at 30 minutes. So we're going to stop here and then annotate that video and continue.